Stretch, one thing I just want to say, thank you so much for being here. I know that obviously we just talked about it kind of before we started. I just started recording, by the way. Before we started recording, it was like we've tried to kind of get this going, but obviously with the way the schedules work, right, and just guests and the way that just life has been working all the way around, dude, when you're a grown adult, it is actually so hard to kind of coordinate something with somebody, especially when they are, I guess all of us, because we're adults, just busy in general, right? But
Yeah, you add to me for traveling and whatnot. At least with this, we don't have to be in the same room or whatever, but trying to coordinate and take time and when I'm driving, it's tough.
yeah, I mean, dude, like van life. I remember you. What was that car you had before? It was like a mini coupe. What kind of car was that?
I had the Mini Countryman. It was the four-door all-wheel drive version, so it's a little bit bigger, but not too big of a car.
Yeah, dude,
Okay.
it was interesting to see because a guy like you, Stretch, I would not think would drive a car like that. You know?
Vehicle.
Oddly enough, the small, older, like true Mini Coopers, like the little two-door traditional Cooper, not the classic, but just the straight Mini Cooper, had the most headroom of any car I've sat in for the longest
What?
time.
Really?
That's what drew me to Mini Coopers. My mom had one, and I sat in it, and I actually had headroom.
No
Huh.
way.
I would have thought of like a truck being like the best for that.
I would have thought
Not
so
even
too.
even most trucks, my head hits the ceiling a lot of the times.
Is the height thing? Is that like what's an accurate length for yins? Like, how tall are
Uh,
you realistically? Like on the dot.
so I've always tell people I'm 6 foot 6-ish.
Hmm.
I've
Okay.
never I haven't measured since high school. I don't really care. It, I'm tall. It is what it is.
And does the measurement thing is that why you drive around and not really go to planes like go like fly?
I mean, I I don't like flying because yes, it's uncomfortable a lot, but I just like road tripping. Uh, the whole road tripping thing stemmed from specifically like let's say going to Chicago, but you're technically not going to Chicago. You're going to Chicago and then driving to Joliet, Illinois,
Okay,
and
yeah,
spending the weekend in
Mhm.
Joliet, Illinois, and then going back to Chicago and flying home. And people are like, "Hey, how was Chicago?" And you're like, I don't know. I wasn't in Chicago."
yeah. You got to drive 30 minutes to the bean, you know.
Yeah,
So
that was the first thing I did. The first like actual traveling trip was a weekend in Chicago after the event, and I just really liked experiencing stuff outside of the events. So I figured when I got my first Mini, they had a really good like I guess warranty deal for me was like if you break down, go to a Mini dealer. If you can't find a Mini dealer, go to an BMW dealer. If you can't find a BMW dealer, take it somewhere and we'll reimburse you. I had a false sense of security with driving around and stuff.
damn,
Hmm.
that is
Sounds like they had it good though.
yeah. So okay, Stretch. Let me ask you this. Obviously, we were just kind of talking about how like you go back in paintball for so long, and you would say you're the oldest media guy. What even got you like into media?
Uh, well, my car originally is what got me into taking pictures. Um, just I enjoyed my cars and stuff like that, so I was taking pictures with like a little point and shoot,
Okay.
and I I finally wanted to buy a legit camera. I was still playing, like not aggressive. I never really got too into competitive paintball. Like Sup Air was just becoming a thing when I got into cameras, so I would go to like XPSL and watch a couple like little regional events, and then I found out you could make money taking pictures at these events. So rather
Mm.
than spend money to play, I could still go to events and experience them, but also make money. So I basically sold all my paintball gear and bought a bunch of camera gear, and it's been that was 15 years ago now.
Okay.
2008 was my first
Hell yeah.
Damn. That is
event.
that is crazy. So what was what made you decide to go towards paintball?
I was playing paintball and it was just friends and taking pictures of your friends and stuff like that.
Just kind of shooting the
So,
shit. Like, did you play like a local field or was like some backyard stuff?
no, I was I used to work at like reffing rec ball at Camp Pendleton
What?
before it was
Okay.
the tournament park.
Wow.
Back when it was in the middle of Camp Pendleton at the old paintball park.
Wow, that's like that is
Hmm.
some OG shit. Because, like, I mean, some people don't even get to experience Camp Pendleton at all anymore.
Yeah, it was a bummer when they closed. Well, I technically don't think they're closed. I think they're just limited to military members now.
Gotcha. So that is
Hmm.
fucking killing that business. You already know that for sure.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
So
Caden.
how did you? What's up?
No, you ever been to Camp Pendleton,
Uh,
Caden?
I haven't. No.
It
Oh,
it was good. I thought that it was good. I thought the turf was not too bad. I thought that the irrigation on the field. I was like, because it would rain down there a lot more than up here, right? It would
I've only been
rain a
to
ton
like
more.
fields in this general area.
Dude, I feel
Give or
like
take like USPN.
I haven't. I don't even think I've been to that field. But
That's like the farthest I've been.
so okay,
Um,
go ahead, Caden. Sorry.
I was gonna say, so Stretch, how did you come up with the 1904 photography?
1904 is what's alphanumeric code or whatever. S is the 19th letter of the alphabet. D is the
Mm.
fourth. 1904 SD San Diego. It's
What?
to be honest,
Oh,
it was a gang thing from San Diego, and I did not think it was going to be like an actual issue. And then when I first started, I've had friends that have had issues repping 1904 in San
No
Diego.
way.
really?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of issues is it? Like, oh, dude, like that number, like fuck you, like the
Like a
what
blood
is
versus
it?
crib?
Yeah.
Or almost like a sub. I don't even know. I want to say subliminal
Subliminal
message, but
messaging?
that's not it. I don't even know like what to even say anymore. But underlying message, if that makes sense, right? Like the with the numbers, the code behind it. You know?
Yeah, it's definitely not a known thing. I thought like it would at least be a somewhat memorable thing in San Diego, but even a lot of people in San Diego don't know about it or don't understand it.
Yeah. So I'm okay. So what's the bit most you've been pressed about it?
I haven't been pressed about it, but I've had friends that are like, "Yo, I just got chased by a car full of Mexicans screaming that like I can't rep that number on the back of my windshield."
That is so crazy. Like what like a
Huh.
world we live in almost where, there's so many like different signs, right? Like if you kind of like this is going to sound crazy in this comparison, but it's true, right? Like if you were to look at like the swastika, obviously that is like a thing that is like super bad. But then when you look at like what is it, Hindu culture, it's like almost the
Yeah.
same sign but like rotated like 10 degrees and it means like peace and love, you
But
know?
I've always laughed at that where people try to use like that reasoning. Oh, it's a Buddhist thing, and I'm like, yeah, you can't. It's a ruined symbol. That's a symbol
100%.
you can't use anymore.
100%.
But yeah, it's weird how like symbols can be used and be taken, and then in that case, technically ruined.
Yeah. I mean, especially
Yeah.
where if you could possibly get like hurt over it, right? Where it's like your own brand and or even like or in your case where it's like a friend repping your brand. It's like it almost makes you feel some type of way about it, right?
I definitely felt bad when he told me the story.
Yeah, but I mean, I assume you haven't had too much problems with it now. Like I assume that was probably a crowd when you first started.
Yeah, honestly I haven't heard too many stories, but that was probably the worst, and it was relatively early on.
Okay, nice. So
They got out of it okay, right?
Yeah, no,
Okay, okay.
on top of it, they're car people, so he has a fast car, so he
oh hell yeah, hell
They
yeah,
just skirted off.
good for him,
yeah.
dude. Because Stretch, uh, when people kind of be like, "Oh, Hatch, you're OG," sometimes I think of people like you, where I'm like, when I was a kid and I was first getting into paintball, I remember seeing you. I remember seeing like you tower over me so much when I was a kid, and it was almost like that. You know that scene or that photo of like Bigfoot like walking in the woods where his like back's kind of turned and he's like turning around, kind of like that's kind of what it was like, Stretch, when I would see you when I was a kid, because you were like, dude, the aura that you would give off, you know.
I've definitely always had the Bigfoot aura. There's a photo of me on. I don't know if you ever noticed when I was shooting motorcycles. I started shooting again, but I used to shoot motorcycles on a mountain in Southern California called Palomar Mountain,
Love those
and
photos.
I took a bunch of photographers from school with me out there, and someone just was taking a picture of a motorcycle going through, and I'm walking through the background, just totally Bigfoot status, exactly the same stride, looking over my shoulder back at the camera. Just it worked out, and I was like, that's a Bigfoot pose right there.
100%, right? Like I feel like you could get away with it's funny. I even put in our little chat. I don't think I sent it to you, but I have this thing where it's a question where it says, Stretch, if you wanted to, I feel like you could go towards acting with two routes. You could go the Sam Elliott. You know who Sam Elliott is, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Right? I feel like you could definitely play like a Sam Elliott-esque character, or Robert, I don't know how to pronounce this, Robert Bobrovsky. How do you say that,
Bob
Caden?
Ross. Yeah, Bob Roski. Yeah, Bob Roski. We're gonna go with that.
Robert Bobrovsky. He's like the guy who's like, I think it was like a Russian basketball player that is like he's like 7'5", and he plays like he loves playing like horror movies, right? Like if you ever see like some kind of character in a horror movie where they have like really long arms and really like, and they're like really tall, like a Slender Man-esque figure, that's usually the guy that they hire.
I've always been told I should do Slender Man if I ever do Halloween again. I haven't dressed up for Halloween in forever, but
What?
That'd be
Slender
sick.
Man's always on the list.
That would be sick. Or like oh man, you could low-key, even like Minecraft, you could do like an Enderman. That'd be pretty sick. That'd be pretty sick. But
God damn it.
okay, because the thing is, with our team, Stretch, Halloween is like a mandatory thing.
Oh,
Like you have to dress up and play in your costume all day.
Yep.
Like, and if you don't,
that's fun.
if you do not play in it all day, I'm not saying we shame, but it's like, hey, dude,
We
look at
do.
that pussy over there. Like, not coming with the whole
I'm not saying
team.
we shame you, but we shame you.
100%, you know, right? Like, Caden, we've had a couple matching costumes. We've had,
Yeah, the Buzz and Woody.
yeah, Buzz and Woody,
The Knights.
the Knights, Mermaid Man, Barnacle Boy.
Mermaid Man, Barnacle Boy.
Like, have you had some other
Is there
ones?
another one?
I'm not sure, but
I think we've only had 3 Halloweens.
anyway, but dude, I love dressing up for Halloween. Stretch, dude, you got to do something this year. You got to do something like Slender Man. That'd be, I mean, okay, this would be like a stretch. This would be like special effects makeup. But I don't know if you guys have ever seen or played The Witcher, but there's this monster called the Leshen, where it's like a Caden, drop it in the chat. It is like a woodland spirit that is like super tall. It usually has like some kind of like deer skull on his head. You know, it's very, very sketchy looking, right? But it's super, super tall and lengthy. Man, Stretch, you would look so sick. Drop that in the chat, Caden, so Stretch can see it.
That's a lot of effort. I've joked with my girlfriend that we should do Marv and what's the crooks from Home Alone?
Oh, dude,
Oh, I can't
I know. I don't know
remember.
the other guy's name, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
But Marv is the taller one.
Yes. It's funny because we have a teammate named Marv that I 100% have photoshopped his face on that guy from Home Alone's body. 100%. I know for a fact. I could probably go in my photos and find it.
That's funny.
So that is funny. I think you could definitely pull off that look, right? But okay, Stretch. One question I got for you, bro. You've been very creative in the space of content, like whether it be like paintball, motorcycle racing, weddings, like low-key like vlogs and like kind of like funny TikTok content in a way. When did you decide that this was the kind of like career path that you wanted to pursue? Like take serious?
From like I was saying with the whole concept of making money instead of paying to play paintball. After that, I my original plan was to join the Navy, and even when I first got into photography, I was gonna still join the military as some form of combat camera or some media. But then I just slowly got out of it and decided I didn't want. I was going to school, and so I didn't want to join the Navy as an officer in the like media world. I'd much rather be like hands on with a camera.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave up on my idea of joining the military, kept going to school, and then slowly just used my school for nothing, basically. That's the problem with media and cameras is the traditional schooling is kind of pointless.
You could self-teach yourself, basically.
Well, no, I definitely believe in actually going to like because I got an AA in digital photography and stuff like that. So I definitely believe in being taught because although you can easily self teach yourself whatever you need, but it's a quicker, easier solution to have someone teach you something than spending 2-3 weeks on YouTube looking something up and trial and error and
That's a good point.
whatnot.
Yeah, I mean,
But
was that what you initially went to school for?
no, I went to school for business and then I got into photography, got a photography degree, continued the business degree, and then just slowly turned into a photography career instead of doing anything business wise or the military.
I mean, that's interesting because I think the way that it is a business, right? You yourself is a business, right? Like
Yeah,
you're the kind of
I
guy where you're
definitely agree.
going out there and you're what is it? Independent contracting for yourself.
Absolutely. Like I learned and used a lot of stuff from my business classes and whatnot, but the real issue I was feeling with college is more of like a networking thing in my opinion.
100%.
And
Yeah.
like I even had to do like networking classes for one of the HR requirements for the business degree.
Hmm.
And you're going to like networking events, but everybody's talking about networking for like jobs and like trying to get an HR or trying to get into accounting and stuff like that at certain companies. And I'm like, can I take your headshots? Like I was still trying to like use the events for networking, but everybody was there for networking for other things. And I was like, I have to be here, so let me try and work with it. But really, it was like I was using school for things other than photography, so I
Interesting.
feel like I don't really use my business side of things too much. Or
So,
I mean, I still use it, but didn't at the time.
okay, so a question for you is what is something that you learned in school that you actually applied to your own photography business? Because there's a lot of media guys that are out there that kind of didn't really know. Like I remember when back in 2021 when I was friends with Enrique and Enrique was on the team, he wasn't like for the longest time he wasn't like writing off his flights for his business. And I'm like me and Cedar were like, dude, you need to get on that shit. You know, like it'll help you out in the long run when it comes to your own personal business of Enrique photography, or in your case, 1904 photography. So, what are some lessons that you've learned in school that you actually applied to your own personal life and job?
Oddly enough, all the like tax stuff, between my dad's really tax savvy,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of what I learned in high school was used or applicable to the taxes when I do it for my business because I'm a sole proprietor.
Mm.
I don't have an
Mm.
LLC or anything like that. I'm just filing 1040s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I already knew about deductions, and that's actually one of the things I like about road tripping is if I take a picture on a road trip, it's now a business job, so I can write those miles off and stuff like that. So a lot of the miles I write off, and I learned that in high school. Oddly enough, getting the forget what I think they called it business math or whatever, but it was the math that like when you failed out of algebra 2 or whatever and they're like, "Okay, you can't go on to calculus. You have to still take a math, but we're going to go ahead and send you to the stupid math, the the redundant math or whatever." And
Damn.
I was actually really happy. Everybody was complaining that they never learned how to do taxes, and I was like, "Hi, I took the stupid math class and learned how to do taxes."
I mean, that's like shit, man. I wish
They
I would
should they
have had a
should
class
teach
like
you
that.
that.
Yeah, like that.
I I, I definitely agree. I thought it was the norm.
I think that legitimately the school system fails young kids every single day because the fact that they don't have anything to do with balancing a checkbook, like knowing how to pay your rent, like knowing how to just do simple things, that are
You're
on a
definitely not
day-to-day
taught
life
real,
basis.
yeah, day-to-day life. You're not taught real life. You're taught memorable. You're taught silly facts and stuff like that.
I
Like
made an
complete
Normal
entire
bullshit
I
life,
made an entire
not how it's
speech
stuff.
on this for a class.
for not being ready for like real life.
Or yeah.
I mean,
So, like financial literacy and everything like related to that.
it's completely serious because I mean, I remember like, okay, the jump from elementary school to middle school, right? Obviously, like I was conscious enough for that. It was like, oh man, like middle school, that's a big deal. Middle school to high school, big deal. The jump from high school to real life is such a big jump that dude, there are so many people that I know that are just not financially literate with any part of their life.
Absolutely.
You
I
know?
feel like if you're just trying to go out and like just not actively trying to learn your life and real life adult stuff, if you're just cruising through high school, when you turn 18 and graduate, you're not ready for real life.
Hell no. I was not ready for
No,
real life outside of high school.
definitely not.
I was not ready. Like I had college, but even that was like, there's so much more to life than just school.
Yeah.
You know. But okay, Stretch, another question I got for you. Okay. You've been in paintball for a very, very long time. That's where I kind of got acquainted with you, and I would probably consider you a core guy of the media squad. When it comes to paintball, what are some things that you think we need to change?
Paintball wise, I don't know. I think paintball is always going to end up being a hobby. I think it's peaked in terms of like where it's going. It's already been on like mainstream ESPN stuff. Like
Yeah.
right now, everybody's so stoked that we're back on ESPN, but it's like ESPN the Ocho. It's literally what Dodgeball was making jokes about. So like,
Mm-hmm.
it's cool we're on TV, but it's the Ocho.
They're doing competitions of inflatable donkey flipping.
Yes,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
tire wrestling, like who can wrestle somebody into the tire faster. You know, it's like, when are we
So
gonna be
like,
taken serious with that? You know?
I think we're always going to be just a hobby from now on, and uh, the whole way to grow the sport is to, as stupid as it is, to grow uh, recreational players, just to get new people playing.
Mm-hmm. I
One
can
thing I've noticed with tournament players is if you ask someone what they would or what would make paintball better, a lot of the times it's what would make a tournament better, like how to make an event better, and that's not going to grow the sport because
not everybody's going to an
someone's
event.
not no one's going to join paintball because they showed up to a WCPPL and it was this really cool, like they had water for all the players, or they had I don't know, scoreboards that never went down, or whatever that makes an event that much more pleasurable for a player. That's not going to bring new people in.
That
So
is so
really
right.
Yeah.
all it is what's going to bring rec players in, because rec players are going to grow to tournament players, and then tournament players are going to expand the sport or whatever. But like, as far as what needs to change with paintball, I have no clue.
You know, I honestly, dude, you kind of just like gave me an awakening right now where, you know, I think you are completely right. The tournament side of things with paintball, that sure, that is like the pinnacle of paintball, right? When it comes to like the highest level, the highest competition, whatever. But when it comes to where most of the paintball is getting their money, isn't at that. It is
No,
all at like the local level, like the paintball fields and stuff like that, you know. And I almost feel like this is a crazy idea. I want you guys to give me your honest opinion with this. Imagine if rec ball, and this would take a shit ton of money. Imagine if paintball fields were to kind of combine the paintball aspect and the video game aspect, because everybody, that is a thing that everybody
I
does.
was
Everybody
gonna talk
plays
about
video
that.
games. Like, remember when Paintball Explosion in Chicago made like a Nuketown field where it's like Nuketown from Call of Duty?
yep.
Yep.
That shit blew up. Like, I remember. I mean, I've played it. I know for a fact tons of people. I remember seeing it on like a Ryan Greenspan vlog. That is like a huge part of paintball, but it's a piece of gaming. If if we could do that multiple times, like have multiple like Call of Duty maps, put that in quotes, they're like famous, like firing range. Like it'd be crazy if we had like Rust or some shit, you know, 3-story trick shot. But you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would
Falling
be
out.
a way on how to where people could be like, oh, dude, this local paintball field, these guys have scrapyard, you know, or
Yeah, my
something.
local field has a Minecraft field. So that I already know that brings people around.
A Minecraft field? What does that even
Yes,
look
you could
like?
hide behind a pig.
What?
There's like a barn in the center, TNT, hay blocks.
What? That is so
Just all the
sick.
square. It's a small field, but no, I get what you're saying. And I started with the Davis big game. It's the same thing where it's just starting on rec ball and then going to tournament.
I feel like that's how majority of people are, you know?
Yeah.
And I like what we mentioned a few episodes back, where it was, I think we need to make it easier to watch as a spectator. I think that's what would
Absolutely.
really grow the sport.
Yes, like after going to a tournament this past weekend, I am just like the number one thing, and this is crazy. The number one thing that's realistically deterring people from spectating it and watch, and new people especially, is the nets. Dude, sure it's a safety thing, obviously, but it is way too hard to like see through the net as like an average person to like really see what's going on. I see a ton of people like spectators. I would see a ton of moms like holding their babies and they're like squinting their eyes, like trying to see as much as they can, and they just can't.
They're
You
like
know?
leaning into a net that they're not supposed to be getting close to, but it's the only way to see through it.
Yes, like I almost think that we need to have like the fucking hockey rink, like the big glass shit, and then after every single point, we need like ring girls to go around and squeegee the walls. You know what I'm
I was
saying?
gonna
Like
say,
to
how quick would it just turn into a grimy, greasy window of you couldn't see through anyways?
We just
every
need like
after every single
50
point.
cameras every
Yes,
single angle.
you would need that, and that's the thing is you would need cameras like at every single angle, and that's like the one of the biggest parts is I feel like you just with the webcasts and just like in general, if you're not having multiple people filming, right? And Stretch, you're a media guy, you probably know this more because you could probably dissect every paintball film that's kind of like been made. You're like, man, like you probably seen a way better angle of this with your own eyes. You're like, man, dude, if only I was recording that at that moment, you know?
I mean, that's a problem with any time you're shooting an event is you always see something and you're like, oh, I missed that, or you see something from someone else, and or as a photographer, I'm like, oh, that was so much better of a video shot, even though like I feel like I got a better angle, but the video it's just so crazy how like everything can be different. Like one person's video shot looks better because it's a video, but I've got a better angle, so a single frame of it looks good over here. I don't know. It's it's real interesting to see it from a camera side, but I don't think like webcasts and stuff are a good way of showing our sport. Like highlights are great. Like the like Enrique actual close-up shots and stuff like that. But like
Mhm.
the over the field shot trying to explain why someone got out or whatever. It's so hard to see a paint splat on a web stream and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I remember talking about it not even too long ago where it was, man, imagine if we could for this would be high budget type shit, but you know like the Insta 360 cameras, you know, like we
Yeah.
had because I've even me and Caden have one where we've shot like right above our foreheads, you know, and that's like a pretty prime time angle, you know. Imagine you could be like, okay, and now tuning into Caden Spencer on the snake side, boom, goes up into the cloud like GTA 5, comes down, and now we're seeing Caden's perspective in the snake. Or like
Yeah.
even having like Enrique's camera in the back or something like that, being able to record that shot, you know? I don't
But
know.
just the amount of money involved with doing something like that is insane. And
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
it's almost like we need legitimate like Dubai investors that just have so much fucking money that they wouldn't even bat an eye at dropping like $10 million, you know? Like
needs a sugar daddy.
that's what we need, bro. I thought Tom Cole was gonna be the sugar daddy. No, we need a bigger daddy than
Yeah.
Tom Cole, bro.
I'm gonna go to Mark Cuban. I got this.
Oh, Mark Cuban, have him buy the NXL, dude. He would scrap like half the shit that's going on in the NXL, dude. Oh my god.
Oil money, yeah.
Yeah, he'd be like,
Yeah.
"This is losing me so much fucking money."
I come with an investment, 15% shares in my company.
Oh, 15%. Sheesh, dude, making a lot of money. 15%'s a lot, you know.
I don't
But
know if you guys watch Shark Tank, but good show.
I used to watch Shark
Sure.
Tank a ton when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Scrub Daddy, bro. Or
Was that a shark thing?
yeah, Scrub Daddy was.
Oh, no way.
You know, I think
Ring was
originally,
on there.
yep, Ring was on there. Uh,
Neurogum.
Neurogum. You know what? Okay, this might have even been before that. This might have been like, you know, early 2000s type shit. But like the Sham Wow. You guys know the
Wasn't
Sham Wow, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Same guy with Slap Chop. You know,
Yeah.
the you know? those are legit, dude. Those are legit. Like, I feel like I wonder what the ratio is of successful
Was
businesses.
not on Shark Tank.
Whatever. But I wonder what
Infomercial.
the percentage of people after they went on Shark Tank still like blew up. You know, you go on Shark Tank for exposure, almost in a way where if just because those 4 people don't invest in it, dude, there could be another guy that's like lurking in the shadows that has even more money than all of them. That's like, oh, dude, I can invest into this shit.
Yeah, there's definitely people who have blown up outside of Shark Tank. Like just being on Shark Tank was a good enough exposure for them. I don't know
Yes.
what percentage.
Caden, ask ChatGPT while I ask our guest another question. Okay. So, when it comes to motorcycles, paintball, and all that stuff, because I know I've seen you do weddings, like motorcycle races, van life. What is your favorite about each of them?
Usually what keeps me around certain things is the community. It's pretty much why I've still shot paintball for so long, is the people. Um, Clearly I have a lot of friends in paintball, but just the more people I meet in paintball and everything like that. Of course, paintball has bad people,
Of
but
course, just like
more or
everything.
less from what I've shot in the past, like all the weird things I've shot and whatnot, like downhill longboarding and whatnot, I like the motorcycle and paintball community the most, and they seem to be the usually the best kind of people and whatnot. So that's what keeps me around and what I like most about what I shoot.
So, out of all the stuff you shot, why is the paintball community different? You would say.
Uh, Closer camaraderie. Uh, I don't know. It just the people seem cooler. Like to use downhill longboarding. I would notice that like they would steal from each other and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
it was really weird. Like I felt like just the people in general with paintball specifically, a little bit with motorcycles, but like maybe it's the fact that there's a lot of veterans in the paintball community also, but like it seems like it's a tighter group, better brotherhood or whatever, camaraderie. I don't want to say brotherhood because there's females out there, but like the camaraderie
The
in
family
paintball.
aspect.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, uh, I've been saying this like every episode since I even brought it up since WC.
Favorite
But
quote.
dude, but yeah, you already knew it was coming, Caden. You already knew.
Yeah.
But it's almost like, especially I think that the same thing happens with players and media gang, where brotherhood is formed in salt, right? Where it's like you are like the people that you are sweating out there with. Even you guys aren't playing, but dude, you guys are enduring a different type of pain.
Mhm.
When it comes to recording on the sidelines and everything like that. The fact that you guys all know that you guys are all like suffering together, it almost is like you guys are a team. Because one thing that Smiley Joe taught me, and this is like changed my whole perspective of like the whole media squad, is community over competition.
Mhm.
And I took that to heart so much because I was like, man, that is a great way to live life. But I think it's a dangerous thing sometimes because people can like fuck you over, right? Obviously, but until then, you know, they're my boy. Until then, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
I got the number on Shark Tank here. So roughly 60 to 70% of the businesses that went on and didn't get a deal still are pretty successful.
Dang.
That's pretty
That's
high.
It's
that's up
yeah,
there.
it's a lot.
Whew,
I was
man.
gonna ask you. So Stretch, when you're taking photos of motorcycles, I have a bike. I'm into motorcycles. Are there specific bikes that catch your eye that you look for? You have like
Uh,
favorites?
I have my motorcycles that I like because I grew up around my dad really liked Ducatis, so I like
Okay.
Ducatis. My dad's got
Sick.
a 2003 Monster. Um, Oddly enough, there seems to be a lot of Ducatis on the road I shoot now,
Really?
so I seem to really like Ducatis right now. But just anything that looks cool. The When I was on Palomar, there was a dude who the rumor was he had like 300 bikes and like
What?
he lived somewhere near the base of the hill and
What?
all, every time you see him, he'd come up on a new bike. He had a jet bike. Oh man,
Oppressor
it was
from GTA. That sounds fucking crazy.
like a legit. It's powered by a Rolls Royce jet helicopter engine.
What?
What
Uh,
the fuck?
Jay Leno has one. It was crazy. You could hear it coming up the hill, but because it's not meant to be like a canyon carver, it was like stalling out and stuff like that. So he was just kind of putting along at like idle RPM.
Yeah.
It was really weird, but still heard it coming up from the bottom of the hill. But he was just literally like, "Woo!" It was so weird.
That is
That sounds
insane.
so awesome, dude. I love stuff like that where, it's almost like a mad scientist build in a way, if that makes sense. Like obviously that's not supposed to be on a bike, but dude, send it, baby. Dude, you gotta send it with that. But obviously the guy's going out idle RPMs because the guy will fly off if he pushes it too hard, barely.
Yeah,
Like,
it literally
on the turns like that.
it was one of those ones where like it does not do well outside of throttle on, throttle off.
Yeah. It's like a
Yeah.
straightaway machine,
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that is so badass. Because like I see
That's
your
sick.
motorcycle photos, and I analyze them, and I'm like, man. Obviously, they're photos and they're stills, but dude, just how fast I know that they go, and like stuff like that has always kind of like freaked me out in a way. When I put myself in their shoes, I'm like, damn, going like 150 miles on like a fucking crate. Like obviously, they're not going like 150 on the bend, but you know what I'm saying? Like they're going fast.
Yeah.
Man, dude, like one wrong move and you're fucked. That's what I always
I
think
mean,
about.
there's been some close calls. I've seen a couple accidents recently. Uh, on the old Palomar Mountain, there were crashes a lot, but that was because it was a heavily trafficked. Like a lot of people went there, so the fact that there's like hundreds of motorcycles that ride it a day, kind of bound that one of them falls.
Yeah, I mean statistically, right? Like
Yeah,
eventually that's gonna happen, especially where you're like
The talk about when, not if, you will.
exactly. There's two types of riders: those who have fallen and those who will.
100%.
Luckily, I haven't yet. Luckily,
And I'm on your fucking ass about that, Caden. Sometimes I'm like weird. I don't know what it is, but he's my boy. I gotta be like protective.
I wear my gear.
I know, because if you
I
don't,
always wear my gear.
if you don't wear your gear, I'm gonna give you like the most fucking shit. I feel like a worried
Okay,
father.
Mama Hatch.
You know what I'm saying? I almost feel like that, but I just gotta make sure, dude. Because, bro, I'd be devastated if I lost my boy, bro.
I've had people say like, "Oh, just go out and like, sure, it's fine." Like,
No, bro.
no.
Yeah. It's better to sweat than bleed. There's
100%.
so many
No,
cliches
true.
about all the wearing gear and all that.
I forgot what. I think it was an advertisement for motorcycle gear, but it was like always gear up before you go, and it was like a slow motion shot of a guy like crashing his motorcycle, where it's like he was wearing, and I wear these shoes, no joke, almost every day. They're like Vans, like slip-ons,
God.
right? And the second his foot touched the pavement, it like his foot blew out, and it's obviously like CGI, but it's just like not wearing protective gear, dude. You get shredded by the road. Shredded.
I mean, I know guys who are messed up still wearing protective gear. So who knows what would happen had they not been wearing the gear?
That stuff is crazy, dude. I had a girlfriend. I got a girlfriend that we used to date, and we used to ride motorcycles together. But her family was like a Harley family. And I remember when her grandpa died because he's like pulling out of like a parking lot, and an old lady hits, like this chick's like 88, hits him and is like dragging him for like a mile and a half. And bro, you're not surviving that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, but he was like the kind of guy where he'd wear like, a motorcycle cut, a jean jacket, short sleeve shirt underneath.
Hatch, did you say like you also used to ride?
Hell yeah, bro.
What? How the fuck did I never know this?
It's actually so funny. It's almost like when I tell people that like all the like weird jobs that I used to do. Like I used to be like a carpet cleaner. I used to be a waiter. Like I used to work at Chuck E. Cheese. When it comes to like weird stuff like that, and there's so many. Everybody's like so shocked about that I just done real life things.
Oh,
never
Chuck
told
E.
me
Cheese. Is the documentary true? Did you patch together pizzas?
Me personally, no.
Hatch together.
But you've never heard this conspiracy?
No. What?
Bro!
Please.
Oh my god. All right, Stretch. I feel like now that you have to kind of like explain this theory to him, kind of.
So there's a documentary about a YouTuber who, first of all, why is a grown man filming in Chuck E. Cheese? But that's a different story. So a YouTuber found out that like Chuck E. Cheese patches pizzas together, where like let's say you finish 3/4 of your pizza and there's a quarter of a pizza left on the table. They'll take that in the back, patch that together with another half a pizza and another couple slices, and you'll get when you order a full pizza, it's like these slices don't line up right.
Yeah.
That's gross.
I never saw it myself because I didn't work in the kitchen when I worked at Chuck E. Cheese. I would just work
You work Chuck E. Cheese.
bro. I would,
He's
dude.
like, I couldn't see it in the costume.
Dude, let me tell you, never had to do that. I only worked there for maybe like 3 months, but I never had to go in the Chuck E. costume, and I wasn't a cook. I was just the guy that would just like be behind the ticket and like, tell people, hey, go this way. Hey, your table's over here. A hostess, I guess.
They should bring back the animatronics.
Dude, I completely agree, bro. Like Five Nights at Freddy's type shit.
They're making an actual place. You see that?
I bet it's gonna be exactly like Chuck E. Cheese in like 25 years. It's gonna be like exactly the same,
Oh god.
But yeah, so basically, Caden, the pizza is like apparently like not like toxic, but it's frowned upon by the pizza community.
Right.
Because could you imagine how disgusting that shit is? Like Chuck E. Cheese has its own aura of like ghetto.
It's still a conspiracy though. It's not like proven.
I mean, I don't think it's ever been like proven like a person admitted to it. What are you saying, Stretch?
There's a documentary and it's on there and it looks. I mean, I'd borderline say it's proven according to the documentary.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, like I bet it's been like basically proven, but someone has not like come out and admitted and been like, yeah, I totally put the pieces together. You know what I'm saying? But it's like people have like, what?
You got to be careful because Chuck E. Cheese is on DoorDash as a ghost kitchen.
No way. What does that even mean?
Ghost kitchens are like Denny's has like 3 different burger joints on DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever. Burger Den, I think, is one of them. But so you're ordering from Burger Den and you think you're ordering a burger from a quaint little burger joint, and it's actually Denny's.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
What?
Chuck E. Cheese, same thing.
And they allow that?
Yeah.
What? How is that possible, bro? Ghost kitchen. A ghost kitchen is professional food prep space with no dining room or storefront. These delivery only or pickup only businesses sell meals through the app like DoorDash or Uber Eats. Interesting. That is like, how's that not like fraud in a way?
They're still a business. I'm 90% sure they're legit businesses, but it's
damn, dude.
Gotta be careful. There's hustles everywhere.
I'm about to say, like, that is like the ultimate like side hustle. I bet that probably came from someone doing like black market pizza trades on Uber Eats or some shit.
I just think it came from Denny's realizing no one wants to order from Denny's, so let's create our own brand.
I feel like Denny's is like a sit down.
Was one of the first
like
ones that
I'm drunk at 2 a.m. I need to go get some food. That is.
Go ahead, Stretch. Sorry.
You guys go to Denny's for your drunk food? You guys don't have like 24-hour Mexican joints?
Where I'm at, I don't really like. There's a lot more like ma and pa places where I'm at, where that shit on Sunday closes at like 7.
Dude, nothing beats a 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning drunk
taco
burrito.
Sounds good.
Oof, that does sound good.
What for me is Jack in the Box. In-N-Out and Cane's are open late, but no. Jack in the Box, Denny's, and an IHOP. Oh, and Mel's. Mel's Original Diner.
Mel's? What is that?
Denny's.
Oh, what the fuck? That sounds interesting.
Is it
just
the Denny's, or is it like a Denny's or whatever?
It's like take a Denny's but give it like old theming with like old cars, like classic cars, and like
Cracker Barrel.
No, not Cracker Barrel.
What?
Cracker Barrel has gone downhill.
Cracker Barrel,
like a back
100%.
like a Back to the Future or Back to the Past or
What?
Like a
Back to the Future
traditional
one.
diner.
Yeah.
This is how I gotta go to this place. I gotta see. You're describing like 10 different things. That sounds amazing though. Okay. Stretch. As a guy who road trips a lot, what is the best stop for you personally? Like, where is like the spot where you're like, okay, I gotta go eat there all the time.
Oh, I don't know. That's a tough one. One of my favorite things is traveling and trying new food and stuff like that.
Mm,
You have a
Oddly enough,
cuisine you
you use
chase?
the term best stop. There is a place called Best Stop in Scott, Louisiana, off the 10, and it's the best boudin I've ever had. It was a chef in San Diego told me about it. He's from Louisiana, and if you boudin is like a sausage that's a French sausage, I think. But
is it
yeah,
like a
it's
soup or is it just the
no.
sausage?
I mean, you could make a soup out of it and stuff like that, but the sausage boudin is the sausage, and then
Okay.
they make like they do um boudin balls, which is like little breaded sausage balls and stuff like that, or egg rolls.
Is this
Um,
a supermarket?
yeah,
Okay,
it's a
it is this.
supermarket restaurant, and it's
Oh,
probably my favorite stops.
that just like it's good because the fact that it's a grocery store, it probably has really fresh stuff, and the fact that it's
Oh,
attached to
absolutely.
a restaurant, that restaurant is going to be using that those really fresh ingredients.
Yeah.
And dude, there is nothing better than like I mean, it's hard to make an analogy compared to that, but like In-N-Out. In-N-Out's a good example because they use fresh ingredients. Like nothing is better after like a workout or a long road trip, or you just really just being tired and just having food like that. Oof, man.
On the topic of In-N-Out. So, story. So I had In-N-Out today for
Okay.
lunch. I went out with two of my coworkers. We all went to In-N-Out. On the way back to our job, right? We're
Okay.
driving, and this lady drives through an intersection at a, like four-way like stop sign intersection, goes around and runs the red light like in a full turn.
Okay.
And we already know this lady's crazy, right? We're going back 3 intersections down. That same lady is in a car accident with some like grandma.
Oh, what?
The car's like totaled, like absolutely totaled. So we think like she ran a red light again, like being fucking insane.
Yeah.
And we're looking at the car accident, and the grandma and her are outside like, yelling at each other. And we look closer, and we're like, that chick's fucking naked, like
Oh god.
fully fucking naked.
And just arguing with
Like
this old lady in the street.
old lady, like she has a purse, but she's completely naked, like this redhead chick. And we're like, what the fuck is going on? So we spin around because we want to see what's happening.
Of course,
Oh
of
yeah,
course.
Like for no other reason.
Take an extended
But
lunch.
this chick, this chick is fleeing the scene, like walking barefoot, just bouncing around the street. And grandma's chasing her, still yelling at her. And next thing you know, 9 cop cars pull up
What?
and just get her.
Oh
All
hell
men, by the
yeah.
way. There's
So-
like one female, but all
Oh.
men.
The woman's
But-
like, put your hands behind your back, and all the dudes are like, get on the fucking ground, and they all tackle her.
But yeah, 9 cop cars come and arrest this naked fucking lady that would just got in a hit and run. So that's what, just a misdemeanor and a felony all in one. And I assume she's like tripping because who
Has
goes out
to
in
be.
public butt
Oh.
naked?
Has to be crazy or
100%.
crazy. Drugs are crazy.
Yeah.
Drugs are crazy. It has to be on drugs.
I didn't think that would happen near my work, but craziest thing that's happened. I did not expect to see that today.
Okay, what type of naked was it? Was it like,
Fully, like
well, obviously fully naked, but is it like,
You're like, woo, those are boobies, or you're like,
yes,
oh, those are boobies.
Thank you, Stretch. Thank you.
she was good looking.
Okay, so-
That's why you did the loop around.
Oh hell yeah! I like the way you put that, Stretch. There's oh boobs, and then there's boobs. I like the way you put that, Stretch. Holy shit, that is amazing.
I did not. If I took a look at this person normally, I didn't think that they would be tripping that hard.
Really?
Like you could sometimes like, oh, that person does drugs. Like it didn't seem like that from a distance.
Interesting. And it's just like a regular redheaded chick, like a ginger.
Just yeah, nice Nice look at
Damn,
that,
dude.
Jake. Just,
That's crazy, bro.
just check your DMs later.
Dude, about to say, you know that shit fucking grips harder than a fucking special ed kid on a fucking ABC block. You know what I'm saying? Like,
She definitely got
Holy.
the socks. She's probably on a bike hold right now.
100%, dude.
Dude.
She's got the just checked in scanned wristband on her arm. Like,
Yeah.
Gotta
she.
go back and check the police body cam footage.
Dude, we low-key gotta find that. We gotta find that somewhere on Reddit. Oh
my
man.
God.
That is funny. Stretch, what is the craziest thing you've seen on a road trip? I assume that probably through all of these miles and hours of being on the road and just like being focused on the road, you've seen some crazy shit. Has there ever been anything you had to take a double take at?
No, not really. I mean, I've definitely seen, like you were talking about, homeless people pooping on the street and stuff like that. Just all the usual craziness. Nothing too insane, I feel like. But I've probably seen crazy stuff, just forgot about it. You know, last literal decade of traveling now, I have seen a lot of stuff.
What's the longest road trip
Nice.
you've had?
Philly, 2019. I drove to Philly, and then from Philly, it was I forget, it was like the end of June or beginning of July or something like that. So I had a wild hair up my ass and decided to go to Alaska, and drove to Alaska.
Holy
And
shit.
totaled my first mini in Alaska.
I think I actually remember that post. No joke.
Yeah.
Like way back
I
in the
got
day.
I got like a so I I had gotten to 48 states that trip or already with that mini, and I wanted to do 49 because why not? Might as well drive it to the 49th state you can drive to.
Yep.
And got about 100 miles into Alaska and rear-ended someone.
No.
Yeah.
But not even like a cool story. Like everybody was like, "Did you hit a moose or
Oh
something?"
my god.
Just came over a hill and didn't see someone stopped and rear-ended him.
Oh shit. That
Yeah.
is like the worst cuz I assume that was like low-key your fault in a way.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I rear-ended someone, so it's my fault.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
But
was
in,
my first
in my
accident. Same exact
defense,
scenario.
um, people. So I had to talk to a state trooper and everything like that, and people told me that like if you rear-end someone in Alaska, the state troopers are giving you a reckless driving ticket. It's just the way it is. And
Okay.
I didn't get a ticket,
What?
and they were like, "Well, people in Alaska, like the outskirts, don't really take care of their trailers. Like, let's say your brake lights in your utility trailer go out. You don't see the cops very often, so who cares about replacing the brake lights?"
Yeah.
So I still say I came over the hill, I saw the truck, but I didn't acknowledge that they were stopped. So I got distracted
Gotcha.
for a second. When I looked back, they were stopped in the middle of the road, and I rear-ended them. And everybody
Gotcha.
was like, maybe they didn't have brake lights. And
Hmm.
that's why a couple people were like, that's might be why the cop didn't give you a ticket.
Wow. Holy
Slippery,
shit.
slippery snake.
Damn. But 49 states, dude, man, bro, that road trip to Hawaii is going to be crazy. You know? Like,
Well, the funny one is whenever I tell people that I drove to 49 states, people ask, what state haven't I driven to?
you know, and I bet you probably feel like, man, I can instantly judge this person, analyze them off of that question, assume their intelligence level. You know?
I don't know, like, because I've met dumb people who know that it's Hawaii. So like I can't
Hmm.
technically judge, but yeah, there's a lot of times where I'm like, I don't know whether I want to mess with the person or actually be polite and answer.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
But
I just haven't been to like Wyoming, like
yeah,
something
exactly.
completely stupid. You know? They're like, oh, did you road trip to Hawaii? Like, yeah, you know, not a big deal. You know,
Before I totaled it, while I was still on the idea of driving to 49 states, I was kind of contemplating the idea of shipping the Mini to Hawaii.
that is like legitimately like a flex where you'd be like, this car has been on every state.
Yeah,
You know,
it
like,
would have been, but Alaska
damn,
fixed
dude,
that.
goddamn
So it's
Alaska.
actually, I think the car is still in Alaska.
What?
So about a year after my accident, my buddy was still living up there. He sent me a picture of my car with still my 1904 logo on the back window,
What?
driving around Alaska.
Driving around?
They got
Yeah.
fixed.
They got fixed, and it was driving around.
Would you offer that guy money? Be like, dude, can I get the car back?
No, honestly, on top of the fact that I don't want a salvaged car, I didn't want Mini. I
Valid.
don't want Mini anymore.
I mean, now you moved on to what kind of van you got?
Got an all-wheel drive, high roof, extended Ford Transit. It's definitely the opposite of a Mini.
Yeah, sounds
Not
like
play.
got a lot of bells and whistles on it. What was it again?
So it's the
four-wheel
all-wheel
drive.
I want all-wheel drive. I'm stuck on all-wheel drive. I don't want to go back to another car that doesn't have all-wheel drive or
Okay.
4x4. But it's the extended, so it's 148 wheelbase, but also it's got a little bit of a butt and it hangs off, so it's long.
Nice.
And then it's a high roof, so I can stand up inside of it and everything like that.
What? Damn, that's a
Nice.
high ass roof. If you could stand up in it.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay, so because a lot of people have like some misconceptions about what van life is. I'm putting that in quotes, people. So if you're only audio, it's in quotes. What are some misconceptions that like people that may, because on social media people make it look so easy, so great, the life to live. People are like, oh, I want to go live in a van. Fuck rent. Fuck buying a house. I'm gonna go live in a van. What are some things with that you're like, oh man, I did not think this was gonna happen until it did?
To be honest, a lot of the I kind of felt like I've expected a lot of the struggles, but there's just a lot of struggles. Everything. I'm currently, my girlfriend and I and her dog have been on the road for almost 3 months now, and
Wow.
it's literally 24/7 nonstop being around each other. Like if you've ever gotten mad at your girlfriend and gone to the other room to
Oh,
clear your
God.
mind or whatever, like the only option for that is you got to go outside and walk around the parking lot, or like a buddy of mine joked, you go to the back of the van and you're 10 feet away. You still see each other,
Yeah.
everything.
In the
Just
timeout corner.
You're like, we'll talk later.
exactly, turn around. Exactly.
You know, like,
Um,
man,
To the
what a
look out
test.
the window.
What a test. Like that must add like a stressful test on the relationship.
it's and on top of it, it's stressful because it's new for both of us. Um, when we first started dating and traveling, I was already traveling in the Mini for like 5-6 years.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of had an idea of things. So when things came up, I was a little bit more accustomed to what went wrong on those types of road trips.
Mhm.
Where now, if something goes wrong, or like the other day, I I couldn't find a place to stay because I'm still trying to learn how to like get campsites and like
Yeah.
where can we stay. Like the classic one is a truck stop or a Walmart, but in Washington and Oregon, it seems like almost every Walmart doesn't allow overnight parking. So like your last minute resort, like, okay, well, I can't find a campground for right now, and I need to find something. Like, oh, even Walmart is no longer an option. So it's all these stressful situations that are even more stressful because, you know, on top of it, I feel like you feel kind of responsible for my girlfriend and the dog, and like I don't want to like
Definitely.
have
Yeah.
us sleeping on the side of the road because I couldn't find somewhere to stay for the night.
Yeah, I mean, that must be like a very, I mean, I wouldn't say I've been in a stressful situation with my girlfriend like that where it's like can't find a place to sleep, right? Or else we're going to be on the side of the road. But man, like I love my girlfriend very much. But that what a relationship tester, and that really is going to like test like whether or not how much you can tolerate with somebody, like how much like they can tolerate with you. It kind of just like shows, as long as you're a man and you're about it with accountability and you look at yourself in like third person and you look at yourself in the mirror, you could be like, okay, whatever I'm doing is like so unnecessary. Like why even make a big deal out of this? But the fact that you are all in it together, that is the best part about it. You know,
Really.
as long as she's down and you're down, you can probably work through anything. I assume.
Yeah, we've had some stressful hiccups and whatnot, but I feel like that's any relationship or whatever, and we've been doing pretty good. So
Oh yeah.
it's a learning curve.
Yeah, I mean, like, what are some pros and cons about van life?
The pro, so one I really like for event wise is I wake up like if I want to like half an hour before I have to walk on the field.
Oh, that must be nice.
I've been staying at the events for WC and NXL, so like I don't have to wake up 15 minutes an hour. So even like I've always been the type of guy that like outside of 30 minutes, I'm finding a different hotel. Like if the media gang gets a house that's like 45 minutes from the venue, I'm like, sorry guys, I'm gonna get a hotel closer to the venue. I don't want to drive 45 minutes every day.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So to be able to like just wake up and be like, okay, I gotta be ready in 15 minutes, and I know it only takes me 15 minutes because all my gear's set up. Like that's really a big perk for me. The con, the van isn't set up right now, so I don't have a shower. There's no real full storage situations. Basically, it's just a bed frame and a mattress.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's
So
all great beginning start.
exactly. It's a progress, but like being able to camp, because before I didn't really like camping because I didn't want to spend a lot of time in one place. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't like go to a national park and spend a week or whatever. So I never really wanted to set up a campsite for like the 6, 7 hours that I was going to be sleeping. So it's really nice that I can just still camp, pull over, find a campsite or whatever, and then just have to set up the van. The van, I think we figured it out. It takes us like 20 minutes to get everything in sleep mode or whatever you want to call it. But
Yeah.
like that, to set up a tent and get all your sleeping bag and gear all out to go camping, it wasn't worth it for me. So I carried camp stuff with me a lot of the times in the Mini, but I camped maybe once a trip.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Do you sleep in the Mini?
No, I used to camp. I have slept in the Mini. Don't get me wrong. Like there's been times like what was it? Alaska. On the Alaska trip, I went to Canada. All the campgrounds in I think it was Jasper National Park, which was really cool, by the way. If as people of the north, Jasper National Park was a really cool, absolutely beautiful place. Probably one of my favorite national parks I've been to. But all the campgrounds were full, and I pulled in thinking I was just going to be able to like sleep in the car for a few minutes. And the park staff actually drive around to all the like parking lots and tell people, hey,
No sleeping in the
sleeping
car,
in your car is a ticketable offense. You cannot do it.
bruh.
And all the campgrounds were
Ticketable.
full. So you got to go somewhere. And I ended up sleeping in a Walmart parking lot in Canada in my in the Mini.
Wow, holy
Yeah.
shit.
I see videos online of people trying to like break into big rigs. Obviously, you try to find places to stay, but has anyone tried to break into like your van or the coop?
Uh, no, not yet. I've had the Mini broken into. Uh, the last Mini. What was it? 2000. When was the last Vegas event? The
2020.
last. I think that was the.
No, 2024. 2024.
24.
Yeah.
So the 2021 was the one that um it got broken into, because I literally had just gotten the my second Mini and was staying in a Hilton in Vegas,
Uh-huh.
and it got
Mm.
broken into after
Damn.
the event, and I had to drive home with 3 broken windows.
Holy fuck.
Damn.
Stretch, I want to say this. It is so crazy, just the world of social media in general, because obviously you and I haven't been acquainted like this for very long, but dude, we followed each other on social media for a long
Yeah.
time. I actually like low key like remember that, and I was like, "Oh my god, that would suck so fucking bad."
So I used to park my car, like I would check into a hotel and then park my car wherever my room was overlooking.
Yep. So you can see
And
it just in case.
that was my theory is, yeah, you could see it. and my buddy who was actually working at Hilton's, he used to have gave me his friends and family discount. Shout out, that's a good deal. If you
Hell
you know
yeah.
anybody who can get you a Hilton friends
Okay.
and family discount, it's like 50% off. Great.
I'm in.
We were going to get dinner, and he comes to pick me up, and I hear, "Hey, when was the last time you've been to your car?" And
Oh
I didn't
fuck.
even I dropped my phone, took off towards the exit, and like I didn't even look out the window. I knew exactly what was happening,
Yeah.
and went outside, and all my like two of my back windows, and they tried to smash my actual rear windshield.
What the
And
fuck?
Why?
What a bunch of bitches.
I had some stuff in my car, and they got a monopod and my dirty laundry.
Man, that's the hard part about it is because all they see is stuff. They're like, we'll grab it and figure it out later.
Yep.
Right? Like, man, that is so fucking annoying because, okay, a story to match that. This podcast has heard this story. I remember when this happened, like, and I came on the podcast. I remember filming this live at the event and telling the story at the podcast live. So the year was 2023 World Cup. Dude, we leave because I would drive 4.5 hours up north to my teammate Cedar's house, and it would I'd fly out of the same area, so instead of me having to go and drive like 4.5 hours to the airport and then leave my car there, I'd leave my car at my friend Cedar's house. Right, shout out Cedar, love that guy. So it's like 4 a.m. Where I'm sleeping, all of a sudden I hear my car alarm go off for 1 second. Like 1 second, like one single beep. Like I jumped up like a fucking banshee real quick and I look out the window. Dude, it was dead quiet. And I was like, what the fuck was that? Right? But like I didn't hear anything, didn't see anything. And I'm just like, okay. So then like I wake up an hour later to go to the airport. We walk outside. My fucking shit is smashed in. Not only is the window smashed in, because the kind of car I drive a Kia Optima. So if anybody wants to stalk me, good luck. They at that time they were very stealable, like very
Yeah.
easy to steal.
Kia boys.
Yes, exactly, the Kia boys, right? And so luckily, the week before I leave, I get an update in my car, a recall in my car for the security system to where they couldn't do what they normally would do.
Oh wow.
So
I mean, bummer, but also good thing that they didn't actually get your car.
100%. They didn't get my car, but I go in and I'm like, oh man, the window is smashed. Fuck. Like I'm pissed about the window. But then I look, everything under the steering wheel is completely shredded. Like the wires, like the steering wheel, like everything underneath it is shredded. And I'm just like, oh my God, bro. Right. And so I have to leave in 30 minutes to the airport. And then I'm like, oh shit, I got to deal with this. Right. And it's 5 a.m. I'm calling tons of tow truck places because I can move it 10 feet into Cedar's garage. Right. They're dicking me around. They're yanking my dick for like a couple hours. I miss my first flight, miss my second flight. Then I call them. I call the air place again. They're like, okay, this is the last flight we can get you. But if you have to fly tomorrow, it'll be an extra $1,700.
Holy moly!
And I was like, oh my God, like
makes no sense.
And I'm like, I love the team, and that's a expense that I'm willing to do. Right? The entire team was basically like, even like, oh man, if Hatch has to do that, we'll all pitch in and help him out, kind of thing. But then
shout out to paintball community.
Shout out to the paintball community, dude. Like I would not want to be around anybody else. Like when it comes to like other communities, like the paintball community is so tight knit. If I needed a job anywhere in the United States, they would help me out. Like I could reach out in the paintball community and they'd help me out with a job. But they realize, like, I'm like, okay, well, I need a tow truck. Doesn't line up. Now I have to fly out. This is where, no joke, I will always give Cedars that it was at that point, it was his fiance, but now wife. Dude, she basically was like, go, like, I'm gonna take you to the airport, catch your flight, and then I'm gonna come back to the house and deal with it. And then I'm gonna fly out the next day. Dude, save my ass, bro. Save my fucking ass. And dude, they charged her like $400 to move it 10 feet from the driveway into the garage, which is 10 feet.
For future reference, if you know someone with AAA, have them do that because AAA will do it for free.
No, you ready for this? I tried AAA And they said since someone broke into it, they're not willing to move it because at that point it's a crime scene.
Oh,
Yep.
it's crazy how I have AAA. I have yet to actually use them, but I hear so many like things where AAA is like, oh, we don't do that. Oh, we don't
Yes.
do that. It's like they get out of having to do the actual stuff you pay for.
100%. It's like if you're not like legitimately broken down on the side of the road, like a tire blew out or something like that, or you like ran out of gas, dude, they are not fucking helping your ass. And that was when I was like, oh man, like AAA, they saved my ass before, but dude, now I'm like hesitant on calling their ass, you know?
Yeah. Outside of a lockout, I don't think I've ever had them help.
Yeah, and I did just the whole point of even what I'm saying, Stretch, and I didn't even mean to like overgo on your story. Once that happens to you, dude, it's almost like this is gonna sound like insane, but like PTSD, where it's like, dude, the second you hear your alarm go off, it's like, or you're like double checking your car all the time.
Yeah.
Did we call AAA when our key got locked in the car? Was that AAA?
I think so. The Texas event with the hailstorm. Yeah, I'm
The
pretty sure we called
tornado.
AAA, something like
Oh,
that.
that hailstorm was brutal.
Dude, you remember that, right?
That was I had just pulled up to the Airbnb when that like hailstorm really started coming down, and I
Fun.
was like, I'm just gonna go hang out in the car real quick. I was the first one to pull into the Airbnb, so I got under the tree.
Yeah.
Everyone else with rental cars, I was like, fuck you guys, you got rentals.
Yeah. Like, dude, because the whole story, like, kind of like what we were talking about, dude, no joke. We see this storm coming. And then earlier in the day, our teammate Marv accidentally locked the keys of the U-Haul in the U-Haul. Like, we can see them. Like, they're on the center console. We can see them. And, dude, the AAA guy comes. This is where it also kind of pissed me off. AAA guy comes. He's like, all right, I'm here. We're like, yeah, AAA. Then he goes, oh, I forgot my lockout kit. I have to drive back.
Oh my.
The whole point of his fucking job is that lockout kit, people. Right? So, right? And so he goes all the way back, comes all the way back again. And at this point, we can see the teal sky. We can see this. We can see the spheres of ice slowly falling in the distance. And we're like, oh my God. He gets there, pops that shit open. Hail's consuming us. We had to stop under a highway because the hail was so bad. Like, we had to pull on top of like these like rickety rocks.
It was like 2 minutes since the car got open to when it started hailing.
Yeah, like, dude, it was so close. Like, that was one of those things where that could be like a skit or something, you know? Like, you just can't write that shit. But man, enough about us though. Stretch. I want to talk a little bit more about you, bro. Who is Philip Stretch Baker when it comes to like you and yourself? Who is that?
I'm not good with these questions. I'm just a dude who likes taking pictures. I'm not good with these questions.
And that makes sense. Like, it makes sense that you're just like, a lot of people are kind of like that humble beginning, right? So this is a question that I just asked, that I just added on. So whenever you come around and people see you, people are always like, since you're kind of like, and I mean this with no disrespect, like the elder member of like the media gang, right? When people see you, people look at you and they're like, holy shit, like that's Stretch. That's the guy who's been in the game for so long, right? So in your humble opinion, how does it feel knowing that you kind of have like aura in a way, or like you're recognized for a lot of your hard work? You know,
it still trips me out because like, so this whole trip has been based around two paintball buddies, my buddy Storm, ETO organics and everything like that, and then another paintball buddy for the wedding. And Storm today was telling me that like when he was a kid, you know, seeing my photos and stuff like that, and when he got his picture taken by me, he was stoked. And like, that stuff still seems very odd to me. Or like when people tell me that I inspired them to get into the photography game or whatever, it's like, that still seems very odd to me that like I impact people's lives and stuff. I don't know. Like I said, I seem like I'm a dude who just likes to take pictures and make people laugh.
You know, I'm going to raise on top of that. I know you're going to say something real quick, Caden, but I gotta go for like the serious gut wrenching stuff real quick. Stretch, I don't think you understand what you do for a lot of people when it comes to not only the paintball community, but in this reality, in this world that we live in. Life is so short. You know, there have been to be so many times where people look at the photos that you've taken and they're gonna be like, man, like, remember the good old days. Or like people you captured people's golden years. There are probably people that have gone in and out of paintball while you've just had your entire reign over the media gang, right? You've been in here for 15 years and people have been in here for 10, and you've probably documented almost their entire journey, if that makes sense.
I mean, Brandon Cornell, if you think about it, I took pictures of Brandon Cornell when he was playing for the SD Pirates, and now he's playing for Impact, winning World Cup and series and stuff like that. So that is one that I've always laughed at. Literally watching him start from little kid that I used to make fun of to where he is now. Interesting.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask something almost similar to this and what you were saying, how you like inspired your friend. When you're taking photos, is there a intent behind it or like meaning that you're trying to capture? Like Hatch when he takes his Polaroids, he's trying to like genuinely capture a moment, whether it's with us or with like people to seal in history. Is there something you think about when you're doing that?
It depends on the photo, I guess, because like in like the pits, I'm still working on like capturing emotion. Uh, like very I'm not very good at picturing like or seeing people's emotion. Like a lot of the times I will see people like two teammates interact and like there's a smile there or something like that, and I'll watch it and be like, "Ooh, that's a good photo," as I'm holding my camera, not taking the picture. But it's just because I'm so bad at like seeing an emotional connection happen and just not being able to see it ahead of time. Like I can recognize when it's happening, but not like actually like be prepared for it. So that's
Okay.
something I'm trying to work on. But like with like playing and actual like sports photos, it's just trying to be in the right place at the right time and having an idea of like, okay, so and so is going to go to the corner or whatever, and being able to predict. That's why I like paintball, because you can pretty much predict where people are going to go and stuff like that. And like after a while, you learn people's body language and how like, okay, this guy's going to make the bump when he starts getting jittery and gets up on his feet. Um,
Mm.
so I'm more just trying to be prepared to capture a moment, not necessarily trying to like capture an emotion or say something. Uh, Oddly enough, to go back to school, I had a digital arts instructor where we had to create a mock ad, and I just made a funny condom ad. An ad for Trojan. I thought it was funny. Um, and he was asking me, what am I trying to say here, and all this, and I was like, I don't know, nothing. It's a funny ad. It's just and he kept on like wanting me to have some sort of meaning and like some sort of special thing behind the photo, and I'm like, that's not me. I just want to make people laugh. It's
Hmm.
funny.
It's almost like in the way
That's a good reason still.
100%. That's a good reason, and it almost reminds me of kind of like the way some people are with like tattoos. Some people are like, oh, like every tattoo has to have meaning. If you're like, bro, I just like this cat with a lightsaber.
Yep.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
like my bee on my knee because it's bee's knees, or
You're
like
right,
the
right?
couple the couple I just shot their wedding. Uh, the groom is born on Abraham Lincoln's birthday, and so they wanted to get a penny, but just as like a cheap little, they get a tattoo wherever they go and travel. So a penny isn't the most like detailed. Like if you want a good penny, it's either got to be big or it's going to look like crappy. It's going to be this little tiny thing. So they got a copper pen tattooed on their knee. So they have a copper pen knee. And like,
What? Oh, that's sick, actually. I
just a
like that.
funny,
Okay.
goofy tattoo, but it has meaning to them. It does, but it's just a goofy, funny tattoo. And like you said, not everything has to have meaning.
Yeah, and I like the way you're putting that, but especially when it comes to behind like photographs. And I really like what you said where you're like, I'm still working on capturing emotion. There are a lot of people that are probably, I would say, overconfident in their work and they're like, like that's no problem for me. Like, but the fact that you're
There's
like,
a handful of people out there who say things like, "No one can capture emotion like me," or "I've already got that down pat. I don't need to work on it." And it's pretty crazy.
yeah, and I
And,
just
and
think that it shows truly like a masterful craftsman at his craft where he's still working on it. There's still things that
Yeah,
he wants to practice, and that it takes a lot of self-respect and a lot of self-recognition and accountability to admit that, hey, I might not be that good at this. So I think that's what makes you also a professional photographer.
yeah, and even then, you might have like unconsciously you saw the growth of Brandon Cornell, or like you inspired a friend. You still did that, even without even realizing.
yeah.
Imagine how many stories you just haven't heard of how many people you have like you've inspired. I think about that. I think about that sometimes because some people like. I mean, I've had people be like, "Oh man, like the podcast like really helped me out in like a dark place in my mind and stuff like that," and I'm just like, man, I wonder how many people are like that just are afraid to say it.
Absolutely. There's the classic. I don't know the percentage, but there's a fact about how many people leave negative reviews and whatnot. And if you see one negative review, there's 10 people behind it who aren't speaking up. I'm sure there's the exact same thing with positive
Mm.
comments and stuff like that. So for every positive comment you hear, there's got to be a handful of people who have the same feeling, but they just aren't willing to speak up or don't have the time to say something to you or just feel that it's goofy or whatever. They don't want to say like be corny and cheesy with you when in reality it makes you feel good.
Yes.
It's not to hear you impacted people's lives and stuff like that, especially for the better. I mean, it's shitty when someone comes up to you and is like, "Man, I fucking hated the photo you took of me. Oh my god." But, so yeah, if it's a good impact, then yeah, it makes you feel good.
I mean, I assume you probably low-key had some horrible clientele like that where they're like, this shot just isn't the right way. But you obviously you know your work and you're like, this is actually a pretty good shot. You know?
Now, to be honest, I've only had probably two or three people over the years really complain about my photos and stuff like that, and a lot of the times it's parents who hire me and don't tell me that who their kid is. They just
Ah,
hire me. They're like, "Hey,
Uh,
come shoot my son's team." And I'm like, "Okay." So I shoot a little bit of everybody, but their son plays back center or something like that. So his photos are, there's going to be more players or more photos of the snake player because he's on the outside and doing more stuff than the back center guy.
yeah.
But Johnny didn't get a lot of photos, so mom's upset. And then like even Johnny will be like, "Oh, everybody likes the photos. My mom's just upset. Sorry, man."
And that must be the most difficult part about like sports, like if I ever have a child in the future, that's what I think of sometimes when it's like the little league soccer games where I'm like, man, the kids are realistically going to be fine. It's the parents that are feral.
Right? How often have you seen what do you call it? A benches clearing brawl at Little League?
Dude,
But
so
you have
often.
seen a lot of videos of the grandstands clearing out because the parents are brawling.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And like the
Yeah.
like the umpire of baseball game has to like turn around and be like, "Yo, chill out." And they're like, "Just do your job." And it's like, "Oh my god, bro, I could not be an umpire, dude. I'd be chirping way too much. I'd be chirping way too much."
I took classes to be a soccer ref when I was a teenager,
Okay.
and I am so glad I never actually like I got it. I got certified, everything like that. My buddy ended up doing soccer refing for a season, and he fucking hated it. Just
Just
getting
like
yelled at by fucking parents who were never good enough to play soccer and are living vicariously through their son.
I can't with people. I can't with people that do the flopping with soccer. I just can't.
That is
Oh
one
yeah,
thing that I'm just like, man, like, sure, like, and that's also what I know paintball is like kind of like tough for. Like, dude, there have been times where a dude has run me down and put 10 in the back of my head, and I just get up and run it off. Right? I've never been like, I can't hear, dude. You shot me in my ear. It's like I feel like anybody who does that in paintball is so frowned upon that guy's getting clowned so bad he might not even come back.
The aura
yeah.
loss.
Yes, exactly. The aura loss. It's like low key a debt that is too much to be paid by some people. You know? if that makes sense at all.
You definitely don't want to have your teammates that are, I don't want to say that weak, but it's a weakness.
You're
This is giving me
absolutely right.
flashbacks. This is giving me flashbacks to when I was in Little League.
You know, it's funny that you say that, Stretch, because it's almost like okay, I'll make a military. I wasn't in the military, but I'll make a military analogy. You do not, when the war is going down and there's trench warfare going on, you do not want a pussy in your foxhole with you. Does that make sense?
I mean, that's why most actual military, like volunteers and stuff, don't like the idea of the draft, because you don't want someone who doesn't want to be there
Yes.
next to you.
Because it's like people who don't want to be there, they're way more inclined to make mistakes. They're way more inclined to make a bad decision. Like when
Or just get up and run.
yeah, or just get up and run. Like, and then now you're just there by yourself with your fucking hand and with your dick in your hand.
Yep.
You know, like what an interesting experience that teamwork can really expose you to, if that makes sense. But another question I got for you, Stretch. What is the most meaningful photo you've ever captured?
To go back to, I don't really try to put a lot of meaning into my photos. There are some personal stuff that I really like, but maybe I don't know. There's one photo I really like where I caught a helicopter on Palomar Mountain. The sheriff's helicopter basically staring down a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
I was walking back to my car. I noticed the helicopter was like doing these weird like strafing runs really close to the road. And then a group of bikers came up and pulled over into the parking lot, or the little turnout that I was walking to. And the one biker pulled just right up to the perpendicular to the road, and the helicopter came down straight at his level. So the pilot is at his level, looking at him flying on the edge of the cliff, and then the motorcycle. And I ran up behind him and got photos.
Dude, that sounds like some Fast and Furious aura farming.
It was the craziest photo I've ever gotten, I think. But like I can't think of meaningful outside of like some personal stuff that I shot over the years.
Okay, nice. I mean, I assume that because one thing you also have to realize is since you do weddings, dude, like some people, that's like their biggest day in their entire life. Like I know some people that are like, oh, what's the happiest day of your life? And they're like, oh, my wedding. You know?
Absolutely. That makes sense.
Right?
Big day.
Big day, dude, you're like supposedly locking your life with that person.
Yeah.
You know, like, or what is thought at the time. Obviously, nobody like gets married to plan for divorce, but you know, like people are going for the best intentions of like, hey, like this is gonna be my person for the rest of my life.
It's theoretically a once in a lifetime moment.
Yeah, you know, and I assume that you've probably captured tons of emotional moments with that. Like, not for you personally, probably, but for you know the other people that are on the receiving end of the lens.
And that's something I don't think about a lot of the times, where like for me, it's just another photo. Even good photos of good moments, it's just another photo. But like for someone, it's a photo of a memory that they'll always have or whatever. And it might not be like a photo of a good memory, but it could be a spark for a better memory. So like something someone talked about at, I think, the last WC was just getting photos of like people in their bunkers. Like a lot of photographers will talk trash about like just the regular bunker photo of
For
just,
sure.
you know, someone shooting out of their bunker, not moving, not a big, not an epic photo. There's nothing there. It's just a dude in a bunker. But that might be the only photo that guy got because his team didn't pay for photos or media, and no one else is taking pictures of random people. And so even though I'm not taking a great photo, I might get a photo of that guy, and he might buy it. And then that might be like, okay, even if his team got murdered that match, you know, he might have gone out and had a fun time in Old Town that night, or whatever, or you know, met a girl, or that one photo might be a spark to the memory of the actual trip or whatever.
100%.
So even goofy little photos, I still try to take pictures of, because who knows how that might impact people.
I completely agree with you. I mean, that's why one of the reasons why I like take like all the Polaroids is because it's like I can capture a moment. I can almost like look at some of those Polaroids, like think back and remember the smell of that area, remember how hot it was, like the song we were listening to on the way to take that photo, just stuff like that. It just brings up almost like, I wonder if this is like, Stretch, I don't know if it's like a thing where, some people like have like autism over trains and dinosaurs and shit. I wonder if it's like a thing over like photos where, you can like put yourself back into like the Ratatouille moment. The ego guy eats his Ratatouille and then he like shrinks back to being a kid. It reminds him of like everything around that.
Nostalgia.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, all these things you're talking about, they're all I forget there's a term for it, but it's where it sparks memories. Uh, Smell is a strong one. That I think it is the strongest sense that will like spark a memory. So that's why smelling stuff like that, smelling your your grandma's recipe, spaghetti or whatever, and it always sparks that time you went to grandma's or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I'm sure photography has a similar aspect, because I know for me, I've got a terrible memory. Like I
Me
don't
too.
remember all the time. Like I joke that I will have full conversations with people and then not remember them the next day. Um, I had a bike accident when I was like 7 and I had a concussion. I didn't know who my dad was and stuff like that. So
What?
I
Damn.
legitimately have like a bad memory.
Holy shit.
Um, so I take a lot of pictures just for the memory aspect of like, if people ask me like, "Oh, what'd you do last week?" or like when I come back from road trips and people are like, "What'd you see?" I have to like scroll my camera feed and be like, "Okay, oh yeah, oh, we went to this cool diner," and or stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
just things that like I might not remember, but I took a picture of, and then I can look at that and be like, "Oh yeah, this is the campground where the hummingbird flew down in front of us and hung out with us for a minute."
Yes. It
Yeah.
it it reminds me so much like that because, I mean, I kind of relate the podcast to that in a way where, because and Caden, you can easily vouch for me on this. There is this
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
that ever since maybe for you, but ever since you've been on the podcast, is it almost like the second you finish everything we just talked about for 2 hours is like gone down the drain, like you can't even remember like a single sentence that you just talked
Yeah.
about, right?
Like,
And
yeah, you remember the topics, but like it's like,
what did we talk about with that, right? It's like the conversation is so far into this bubble, and sure, we're sharing it on the internet with everybody, but right here at this moment when it's just us three, it is a very intimate conversation, and it's almost to where you're documenting life at this exact moment, and Stretch, like, I think I love having you on because you're the kind of guy where you capture moments, and for this podcast, we're capturing this moment and we're cementing our thoughts and our life right here, right now in this podcast.
And that's why you have struggles remembering things after, is because you're just flowing with it and talking and stuff like that. And it's not like you're really trying to like nail, like, okay, you have a list of questions and whatnot, but we've veered off of questions and we've
Easily.
get sidetracked and whatnot.
rabbit
And
holes.
so you're just flowing with it. And like you said, at the end, you're like, okay, I do remember I asked him who Stretch is, and we did talk about van life, but what did he say about growing paintball, or what, what?
Mm-hmm.
It's you can kind of remember things, but because you're flowing, you're not really paying attention and trying to remember what you talked about or whatever.
100%. Because we're
Yeah.
talking. It's not like I'm like, oh, it's not like it's a transactional agreement. I'm not like, hey, Stretch, I'll pay you $50 to come on from the sidelines. It's not like that. It's like legitimately we're talking as friends.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest part of being able to document things like that. There's going to be plenty of times where people are like, man, I really wish I would have taken a photo, or I really wish I would have remembered conversation like that. Like, dude, I got a Jerry Carl jersey on the wall. I've had Jerry Carl on this podcast. So it's almost like, in a way, I was able to document life at that time, and that was just when he was alive. And that was nice when he was alive. you know. And now that we don't have them anymore, it's like I can look back at that moment and be like, man, I really captured like a moment of my life right there with that person.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
as morbid as it is, no one has that opportunity anymore.
Exactly.
That opportunity is gone.
People don't
And
realize
it's
like how
very
important a
important.
moment is until it becomes a memory.
Yep.
Yep.
Like you know, I heard this quote where it's if you have nostalgia, that just means you lived a great life in the past. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to with envy of how nice it used to be. How nice your life used to be.
One thing that like really trips me out, and to kind of connect this to photography and travel, is uh I like seeing roadside ruins, like Route 66 stuff that's
Hmm.
just
Okay.
bygone era. Um, have you ever heard of or been to the Salton Sea?
I've heard about it. I've never been there.
They're both good examples of this, but just stuff that like has been forgotten and is just left to weather, and just
Hmm.
the earth, I don't want to say reclaims it, but for sure at the Salton Sea, the earth reclaims it. But like there is a old KOA campground on Route 66 that got abandoned and is like a skate, not mecca, but a lot of people go to skate it because the pool is still skatable.
Oh hell yeah.
And I've always
Oh, that's
wanted to
sick.
do star trails over it, with it, blah blah blah.
Mm. Dude, I
But just
love those photos.
it was just one of those ones where like things didn't line up. So like you said, being adult and like traveling, every time I passed through that area, I just didn't have time, or when I did have time, the weather didn't line up, and stuff didn't work out, or there were just times where I didn't feel like it and I was like, "Oh, I'll do it next time." And then
Mhm.
one of my last road trips, I went through there and the building collapsed. So
Whoa.
like half of the photo, the coolness of the photo
Gone.
is gone because the
Yeah.
building collapsed. So now it's just a pile of rubble next to a pool. And I was like, "Oh man, I missed my chance." And so
Wow.
that's something that I've always thought about with like you kind of have to do things when you have the opportunity, because you might not always have the next opportunity.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
completely agree. And I love what you do with those what'd you call it? Star stretch?
Star Trails?
What was it called?
Star Trails?
Star Trail, Star Trail. I love those photos because I'm a guy where I like to think, and those photos get me thinking. You
Yeah.
know, like I look at it like, man, when I walk outside and I look at the moon, I'm like, bro, that is the same moon that Queen Elizabeth I looked at, that a T-Rex looked at, that Blackbeard looked at. That is the same moon that all of us collectively have looked at. You know, the one thing that we have in common, especially when it comes to space, is every human being that's ever been outside has looked at the stars.
Yeah.
And as weird as and conspiracy and mumbo jumbo as that is, you know, seeing those photos just kind of make me happy and realize just like the world still goes round. You know, I don't know.
I
I
like
think I'm just
them.
yapping.
I like them
Huh.
because they're super easy to do, and people like them as much as you are explaining right now. Because it is literally something, you set it and forget it. You you set up a camera and let it run for 2 3 hours, sometimes as long as I let the battery die. So it just takes as many photos until the battery dies and it's done. And then I just wake up in the morning and I grab the camera and I edit the photos, and the photos are pretty easy to edit. And it's a relatively easy thing to do. I mean, yeah, it's better when I'm in like cool places. So you got to get to the place to take the cool photo, but it's a super easy photo, and people are usually either in awe or like you, it sparks some thoughts or
Yes.
stuff. And people think it's a hard photo to capture, and it's just really like an easy thing to do, and I really like it, and it allows me to travel and see cool stuff. And I'm a night owl too, so like I like sitting around at night. So
Mhm.
I
What,
really like Star Trails.
You
what's the
know,
editing process for that?
I was just about to ask that.
So you there's a couple ways to do it. You can do the quote unquote traditional uh and do a single exposure. I cheat and I do 30-second exposures, one right after another, for as long as I want. And then that way, if something goes wrong, I at least have either all the photos before it or whatever. But then you take those 30-second exposures, you edit them however you want, like do the actual conversion process from raw to an image.
Hmm.
And then you stack all the 30-second exposures
On top of each other.
together and blend them all together.
Because I love those photos where okay, like an example. I assume you use the same editing process for those paintball photos where it's like a run through, and you see a guy. It's like a guy, like, and then it's like him taking the next step, then him taking the next step, and then him taking the next step. It's all the same photo, but it's like a movement. It's telling a story through the photos.
Yep. So
Like,
it's exactly. So it's just a sequence, but it's the stars. And the cool thing about the way I do it is you can also turn it into a video. So you can turn it into a time lapse where instead of a
Right.
trail, it's just a single star moving across the sky, or the stars moving.
ever so slightly, you know.
I love space.
I love space so much, and okay, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but the trailer for Halo 3, like way back in the day. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. Caden, I might, no joke, have to have you pull it up and share that shit. But it's called Halo 3 Starry Night. Have you ever seen that, Stretch?
I played the game. I just don't remember a trailer.
Okay, Caden, share that shit.
I got us.
This is a big deal. This is like, no joke, Stretch. This is my, you know me. I love Halo. I got the Master Chief mask type shit. This, like, your photos of star, damn it, star stretching, star pulling. What's it called?
Star trails.
Star trails. Damn it. Star trails. This is what it reminds me of. All right, Caden, play this shit. This is like, gets me like goosebumps, bro.
I wonder what's up there. Like what? Maybe someone up there was wondering what it's like here. I guess. Do you think we'll ever meet them? I hope so. Don't you? Do you think we'll ever meet them?
Every single trail.
Any sign of the chief? Negative, sir. I think we lost him.
Not yet.
So that's one cool thing about the
Oh,
Star Trails. On a side note, the
goosebumps.
if you shoot a star trail during a full moon, so a lot of people think you want to shoot stars like with no moon, so you can see as much stars as possible.
Uh huh.
The moon actually casts off a lot of light. So like during a full moon, a 30-second exposure looks like daytime.
What?
Like you,
Really?
I just did photos of the wedding I did. I did star trails. I did a remote camera looking over the wedding. So when they did their first
What?
kiss, I got that shot. And then
That's
I'm gonna do
sick.
star trails over their wedding. And so I showed my girlfriend and I was like, "Can you tell me if this is a daytime shot or a nighttime shot?" And she goes, "Daytime." And then I zoomed in on the sky and you could see all the little specks of the stars.
Wow.
What?
Dude,
Huh.
that sounds amazing. It's like magic.
Yeah.
Like,
It's fun once you start to learn, like, I don't want to say master, but like actually figure out how to play with cameras and light and work with stuff. It's really fun.
yeah, I mean, I just feel like you have such a talent for that you're discovering so many new ways on how to create your own style, if that makes sense. You know? And I feel like that is one thing that, Stretch, sure, there's photo classes, but bro, you can't teach that shit. You know what I'm saying? You just, like, through trial and error and the experience of being a photographer, that's what you learn.
But that's you can teach that, and there are people who do teach it. You can go to workshops and have people who are very into star trails like I am, who are much better of a social person, who want to share stuff with people and teach people. Like I don't gatekeep, and I will gladly tell people exactly how I do things and whatnot. But I don't think I'm a good teacher.
Hmm.
I'm not very good at transferring my thoughts to explanations and stuff like that. And then I don't have the patience when people don't follow like what I'm saying. If I'm trying to tell you to do something and you start doing other shit, I get frustrated pretty easy. And I'm like, I just told you to turn the exposure to 30 seconds. What are you doing this for?
Hmm.
So, but you can be taught all this, and I can teach someone my style and they can copy my style exactly the way if they wanted. But because there's not a lot, like your style is just something that like you build, but you can 100% teach someone like, this is my settings. I shoot into the sun so I
Hmm.
can do this with the light and blah 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 blah. And then they can copy you, or like I could look at um I could look at Spencer Sunday's photos and be like, "Oh, I like this," and adjust my style to however he's doing. And you could pretty much reverse engineer anybody's style out there. It's
Hmm.
The
it's
power of
just
editing.
Yeah, to the power.
exact
I love that.
um although I do admit that I feel I need to have more of a style in my editing. I think I just have more of a journalistic style where I'm trying to have like a nice, clean, crisp shot. I'm not
Hmm.
trying to have too much editing where like take Sam for example, he's got like that like faded, like slightly underexposed but faded blacks kind of look to it.
We're talking about All in
Uh,
Media, Sam.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love that guy. Sat him on the podcast
Uh,
recently.
I watched part of it. I forgot. I'll be honest. There was a clip in it where I was like, Sam, I disagree with that, but I didn't want to cause any drama, so I didn't say anything. But I forgot what it was now. But I disagreed with Sam at some point.
Okay,
I think
I'm curious.
I think it might have been the self-taught. Did he talk about being self-taught?
Yeah. He did.
So I think that might have been what I was disagreeing with, was because like he was talking about being self-taught, and
Okay.
I don't necessarily agree that self-taught is the best or only way or whatever like that.
Hmm.
Mm.
I definitely think taking classes, because I I was self-taught for a few months before I started actually taking classes, and the stuff that took me 6 months to learn, I learned in a few weeks.
Hmm.
So like I think that's like clearly it costs money to do that,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Right.
like if you can, it's not a terrible way to do things.
Hmm.
Plus,
That's
there's the networking aspect where you're in a class with a lot of like-minded
like-minded. Yep.
folks.
Interesting. Because I feel like there is a. It's not a pattern, but it seems like there is a lot of common ground when it comes to paintball media and self-taught. There's a lot of people where they're like I want to photograph paintball for fun, and then that's how they find it, right? They find the fun part, and then they're like, oh shit, I can make a living out of this.
I think a lot of the paintball media people are players who have had to get out of it for various reasons and still wanted to be part of the community.
That is that is probably accurate, because without a doubt, I could see that if one day where my legs don't work and I'm not a player anymore, that is absolutely what I would do.
Yep.
So I completely understand that.
Or they're refs that found out I can make better money.
I don't know if that's type 2 fun.
Yikes. I mean, bro, I've reffed plenty of tournaments myself. Holy shit, I know that I don't like it.
Yeah,
You know?
I've shown up to events that they're a little short-staffed on refs, and I don't have teams, and they're like, "Do you want a ref?" And I'm like, "No, I'll find teams before I'll make money, but I'm not gonna ref."
Yeah, I will.
A lot of respect goes to them.
Yeah, I will be the biggest salesman on my work right now before I have to ref.
Yeah,
Like
I have yet to do the like walk around the pits and be like, "Hey, do you guys have a photographer?" Like I've done it where like teams I know I've walked up to and been like, "Hey, I noticed you guys don't have a photographer. You guys want photos this event?" but I've never straight cold called a team that I don't know. I
Uh-huh.
can't do that. I'm not that social of a person.
Which is crazy because I feel like
I feel it.
I feel like Stretch, you're a guy that everybody knows.
Yeah, I'm willing to say hi to people and talk to people, but I'm an antisocial person. I almost will most of the time I don't say hi to people. I wait until they say hi to me.
I see that.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Amen to that. I do that a lot, and I try not to do that because I like to say
My ass.
whoa, because I like
say hi
to
to
say hi. I
everybody.
like to say hi to everybody, and I'm using that as like a mechanism to like put myself out of my comfort zone. Like my comfort zone is not super social. That's one thing that I guess I pride myself in, is that I like to put myself in uncomfortable situations like that to be social. You know, I mean, that's how I
Yeah.
get. That's how crackheads love me so much, because I'm willing to talk to anybody. You know,
Dude, I don't know how, but I always seem to get roped into talking to people I probably shouldn't be talking to. And my girlfriend laughs at me because, like, we'll be cleaning up, or like a prime example is leaving a Motel 6 at Scottsdale, Arizona, and someone just starts talking to me. And this lady was able to
Mm.
go upstairs and still talk to me, and I couldn't find a way to like get out of the conversation. I kept on trying to do like yeah, okay, so I think I even opened my door and like got in my car, and she was still talking to me. I just couldn't end the conversation. Like I said, I'm an antisocial person, so I don't know how I end up in these situations.
you just
What's
give
one
up.
of the craziest situations like that you've had?
Um, I guess so. Positive racism. Have you ever heard that, or is that
Absolutely, absolutely, I've heard of that.
there's like the classic stereotypes that are positive? You know, Asian people are good at math. Like that's not a terrible
Right.
stereotype. But
Hell
that's
no,
positive
that's
racism.
great.
Stereotype.
That's great.
So, on my first trip with my girlfriend, we're in North Carolina, and this guy comes up and starts asking my girlfriend where she's from.
Hmm.
She's white, Vietnamese, and Chinese.
Hmm.
So she's not crazy Asian looking, but she looks Asian. And
Asian, yeah.
this guy comes up, asks her where she's from, and she says San Diego like a normal person.
Okay.
And he goes, "No, where are you from?" And she's like, San Diego. And I was like, "Oh, no, he wants to know
Her heritage.
what ethnicity you are." And
Gotcha.
so she says she's Vietnamese, Chinese, and right. And then he proceeds to go into this long thing
Oh
about
God.
like how Asian women are submissive but very dominant, like they'll do what you want, but they won't let you push them around and stuff, and like all this crazy, like what seemed like positive talk but also was like very stereotypical, like not necessarily demeaning, but talking about like Asian women being submissive. And somehow she got out of it. She was like, "I'm gonna go inside." It was during COVID, so she was like, "It's
Oh
my time
God.
to go inside and walk around the museum." We were at Kitty Hawk National Historical Park or whatever, where the first flight happened.
Okay.
And so I ended up just randomly talking to this redneck about how Asian women are amazing, and he went to the Philippines, and I was like, "How do I get out of this? I don't know how to get out of this." And eventually, I think my girlfriend like walked outside, and I used her. I was like, "Okay, I gotta go. She's done," and I walked away. But like, yeah, I don't know how I end up in these conversations.
God.
Damn, dude. You know, Stretch. Maybe you and me are in the same boat with that. Because the thing is, Stretch, I feel like with you, you're almost like, if you were a dog, you'd be a Great Dane. You're like a gentle giant. I feel like people just assume that. You know, they're like, oh, this guy, he looks like he would be friendly.
I've been told the complete opposite.
What? Damn.
So
Hatch is a
It's
fucking
fearless,
magnet.
there's literally been times where I'm walking down an aisle at Walmart, and a mom and a kid will turn the corner, and the kid pulls the mom back into the other aisle.
Damn.
Uh,
They
when
probably
I
look
was
at you like you're
younger-
one of those tree guys from Lord of the Ring.
I've been told I've never watched Lord of the Rings, oddly enough, and I've been told I should watch it just for the Ents.
Stretches the BFG.
100%, dude. 100%. Oh, that's funny. God damn, that's funny.
The early era of AIM chat rooms and whatnot. I was told I have an I'm gonna rape you face.
What the
there's that.
fuck?
What the fuck?
So yeah, to tell me I'm a gentle giant, and it's. I think you're the first person to ever say that.
At least to me, it doesn't look like you kill me. You know? When I look at you, Stretch, maybe it's just because I'm biased and obviously I've known of your aura for a long time. I'm just like, oh, that's Stretch.
Because you've probably seen me smile once or twice. It doesn't happen a lot.
That's probably very true, actually. Yeah. That's definitely very, very true. You know? But, I mean, shit, dude. Okay. Just to raise a quick crackhead story, I'll say this story and then we'll kind of tone it down and wrap it up a little bit. There was one time where me and some of my teammates went to Hawaii for our birthdays. It was like all our birthdays in a week, and so we went to Hawaii. It's our last day, and we're going to get gas. And Brando is driving. I'm in the passenger seat. Papa Cedar in the back. We're at a gas station. All of a sudden, the guy is like, he comes out of the double doors and he's just kind of staring at me, and I'm just like, oh shit! Like, so I like wave at him, right? I thought he was a surfer. First red flag, no surfboard. Right? We're in Hawaii, right? And then he comes over to the pumps. No car. That's also weird. You know, why would he be coming to the gas pumps if he's got no car? And now he's like, he's standing at the gas pumps, just eye fucking the shit out of me. He's just staring at me. And all of a sudden he starts like talking under his breath in a Hawaiian accent. He's like, hey, Bill Murray. And he said I look like Bill Murray. And I'm like, what the fuck? Right? At that point, I'm just like not really like listening because I was like, Bill Murray? Who looks like Bill Murray? Then he said some other celebrity that apparently I did look like because of my mustache, right? And then at this point, I'm like, oh, what's going on, bro? How you doing? And I like, he like walks over and I give him like a fist bump and I'm like, oh, this is Brando. This is Cedar. I start talking about these things called the Night Marchers, which is lore in itself. So basically, the Night Marchers are Hawaiian spirits that I was like so curious about the entire time. And then when I'm talking to this crackhead, some people with the Night Marchers, they'll get like defensive when you talk about it. Like they won't even talk to me. But this guy, when I talked about the Night Marchers, he immediately goes so serious. His bloodshot red eyes looking at me through his glasses that have no lenses. He puts his glasses that have no lenses on the top of his head. And he's like, Night Marchers? They'll fucking kill you, man. And I'm like, oh shit. And he's like, the Night Marchers? You don't fuck around with them, bro. And I'm just like, oh shit. Then I'm like trying to like get him away. And he is like, dude, his eyes, his pupils are like vibrating. Right? Like, and he always had like this, you know how sometimes like crackheads have like this crackhead habit or like a tell? For him, he would, after every sentence, he'd be like he would do something like crazy with his lips, right? He'd be like, the Night Marchers will fucking kill you, man. And I'm just like, okay, right? And so I'm like trying to like get out of this conversation, right? I'm like, all right, dude, we're gonna head out of here. And I go in for a fist bump. Guy does not break eye contact with me once. And I'm just like standing there awkwardly with my fist out. And I'm like, okay, boom. And I fist bump myself. And I turn around like a dumbass. I give this guy my back. And I go, and he is like hot on my tail. I'm getting into the driver's seat. I close the door super quick. He is like staring at me through the driver's window, like, or through like the passenger window. And I am just like, oh God. Then he knocks. Then he goes, and I'm like, oh my God. And he sets all of his garbage on our car. He has like 3 bags and like a Slurpee. And he sets them like all on like the hood of the car and on the top. And I like crack my window down. Like, and I'm like, what's up, bro? Like, and at this point, I'm like, I cracked it enough to either I'm going to get a crackhead fist through the window or like maybe he'll throw a Slurpee at me or something. Right. And then he is just like, you guys want to get high? And I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, where are you guys staying? I'll come hang out with you. And we're like, oh, dude, we're like leaving like right now. And then I'm like nudging Brando. I'm like, Brando, like, peel the fuck out of here, right? And then he's just like staring at us, and he like the second he picks up his shit, Brando's like, and we just leave. And then like ever since then, the guys are like, all right, Hatch, you can't talk to anybody past 10 o'clock because it was like 10:01 or something like that, you know.
And now it's 8 o'clock, by the way.
It
Shit just keeps happening.
I keep getting in trouble with crackheads to where every single time it gets like reduced by 30 minutes to the point where now I can't talk to people past like 8 o'clock.
That's funny.
Right. So, I mean, you understand what it's like, Stretch. I mean, you're on the road a lot. You probably see a ton of interesting characters, you know?
Yeah.
But, okay, my last and final question I have for you, brother. This is like one that's pretty universal with all my guests. So, if there was a microphone in front of you and it was used as a conduit to every single human being in the world right now, and it was translated to their native language, if they're in China, it's translate to Mandarin. If they were in wherever, it would translate to them. But you could say one thing to everybody on Earth. What would it be? If you need to take your time, take your time.
Realize there's other people in the world. The world does not revolve around you. You're not alone. Like you could see that as so many different aspects, but
Mhm.
like there's for me recently on these trips, I feel like people are so I don't know what the word is, but self-oriented. They care about is themselves. Like people aren't spatially aware at national parks. People will literally walk into a visitor center or like a Walmart and just stop at the front door
Yeah.
and not realize, people have to walk through here.
Mhm.
People will do U-turns in the middle of the road while there's flowing traffic and not think about the fact that someone's going to have to slam on their brakes so that they don't T-bone you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But then there's also the positive aspect of you're not alone. Like there's people out there, like reach out. There's people you can talk to.
Yeah. You know.
So
Go ahead. Sorry.
that's if I could say one thing, I would say, there's people out there. Be aware.
Mm-hmm. What a great message, and we've talked about it. You know what that feeling of recognizing that other people are around, you know what that's called?
No.
It's called sonder, right? And a lot of people when they come to the realization that sonder is a thing, like usually happens when people look at like apartment buildings. And you look at apartment buildings and you see this person's working on their laptop, this person's playing video games, this person's watching TV. It's that everybody has their own individual life that they're living, and they are the main character of their own lives. Just like how you're the main character of your own life.
Yep.
And I never really looked at things the same after I kind of was awakened by that. That it's like, dude, other people exist. Like, you're not the main character of everybody's world. You're the main character of your own. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
But Stretch, I appreciate the hell out of you, dude. Thank you for coming on. We're gonna do one quick ad read. But dude, if there's anybody you want to give a shout out to, dude, here, plug your brand. We'd love to hear who you'd love to thank for making it this far. All that good stuff.
Dude, honestly, anybody who's ever given me water, let me crash on their couch. I appreciate any support. The saying hi, everything. I don't have any one person to shout out because just everybody who supported me over the years, I appreciate.
Hell yeah, man. Well, one thing we got to do before we get off here, we got to give a special shout out to the sponsors, Welts Clothing, Scott Stewart and Corey Callahan, what they're going on over there. Dude, they are dropping new stuff every first Wednesday of every month. Welts Wednesday. New stuff's coming out, whether it be a hoodie, shorts, headband, goggle strap, they have it all. Go use FTS, 10% off. Go use code FTS. Second, we got Hormesis Paintball. Caden's wearing a super sick headband. It's almost like, man, are you ever gonna wear that like out on the paintball field, or is that like your bedroom band?
My bedroom band. I gotta wear skull out there.
Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. Yeah. But and then last but not least, we got Capital Edge Paintball Park. I was just at Capital Edge with the CEPL. We'll probably talk about that a little bit more next week when some time goes by. But yeah, thank you to our sponsors. We appreciate every single one of you guys. You're one of the reasons why the show goes on. And Caden, you got any words, brother? You got anything for our special guest? Long time coming. Like me and I've asked Stretch probably like a year ago, but like, oh, dude, like, yo, you want to come on the podcast sometime? And now we finally got it figured out.
I'm gonna end with another big question, a self-reflecting question. If you had the chance to go back in time and tell your younger self any advice, any warning, anything, what would you tell yourself?
Mm.
Dude, the like, don't overthink everything. Like the like classic or to use Sam's line, just post it. Like I've kept so much content and like my life reserved where like if I would have just posted stuff over the years, I think I would have been in different places. I think me holding myself back is my biggest, like, is literally what was holding me back is me, just overthinking things, thinking no one wants to see this, or it's not worth posting, it's not good enough. Like, just post it, just talk about it, just do it, just go to it, just go see it, stuff like that. Just do it.
Yeah. And that's great advice for other people as well.
Hell yeah. And I mean, I posted a quote on my Instagram to like a photo, to like a Polaroid collage where it said, don't forget to overthink the most positive moments too.
Dude, why does overthinking have to be negative?
Right?
Why
It is.
can't overthinking be positive?
It is so crazy that default it always goes to negative.
Yeah.
And sometimes like obviously like we don't get millions of views on here, but sometimes I think I'm like, oh man, what if one video pops off and we get millions of views? Like what happens? Like one day.
That's the theory in my head with posting and just post it is, you could, if you were to have the mentality, oh, we only have 100 views and I don't want to deal with like, because that was my struggle is I'm like, I make travel videos and then they get 100 views and I'm like, no one wants to see this.
Mm-hmm.
But then I go on a road trip and I talk to someone and they're like, oh, I really enjoy seeing your stuff. I live vicariously through you. Or,
Mm-hmm.
man, I made a post one day and a dude I met in Des Moines, Iowa found my Instagram and was like, hey, were you at a Hilton bar? Did I meet you at a Hilton bar in Des Moines, Iowa?
What?
And I was like, oh my God, your daughter came down with a Great Dane, right? A dude I randomly met in a bar found my Instagram, was like, Instagram showed it to him like 4 or 5 months later.
Wow.
And so like, and it was
That's
just a
sick.
stupid, I think so you know how people tell you, oh, you travel so much, you must see all the awesome sights. And usually it's just the outside of a Hilton hotel or a
Yeah.
Motel 6 or whatever.
Right.
So
Definitely.
that was the videos. I just opened the windows to the Motel 6 and it was the construction site next door or whatever.
Wow.
He found that video and recognized me. So like, had I not thought to just make this stupid little video, that would have never happened. Or so like, if you just think that like, oh, this is nothing, I'm not going to make 1 million views, you're not going to post that, you're not going to get that 1 million views. But if you just say, screw it, post it, hey, you might, you never know. You never know what's going to get picked up by the algorithm. That's my theory. I don't care what people say where they're like, oh, I know how to game the algorithm. It's like, yeah, you can kind of game it a little bit, but like sometimes you really don't know what gets picked up, and it's just something catches the eye of people, and then they start sharing it, and then the algorithm picks it up, and then next thing you know, you got 1 million views.
100%. And sometimes this is like, I realistically shouldn't look at it this way because it's probably like shooting too low, if that makes sense. But like, okay, if a post gets 20 likes, sure, to the grand scheme of things, to Mr. Beast and Logan Paul and the art of comparison, or through the art of comparison is like the joy's biggest thief or some shit like that, right?
Yeah,
That's what it's some kind of quote like that. Imagine 20 people were to walk past you in a row and be like, hey, nice shirt.
Yeah.
Like that, like 20 people in real life being like, hey, nice shirt. Like, just because the internet is vast and it covers the entire world, some people just are like, oh man, like I only look at the big picture type of thing. Sometimes go ahead.
I don't even have, I get a 50 likes on a photo and I'm like, 50 likes. I don't even have like 50 close friends. Like,
Right?
yeah, like, so to have 50 people, that means 50 people went out of their day to, even if it's just a quick little tap on the thumbs up, like someone took 2 seconds to tap a thumbs up. Like, that's cool.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I heard this thing with a story where it's like, okay, with views on your story, people may not like it, but they're looking at you.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I looked at that and I was like, damn, I better go to the gym. You know, I gotta get motivated off that. You know, or some shit, right? But I don't know. But anyway, Stretch, you're the fucking man, bro. Seriously, thank you for being here. I know it's a ton to take 2 hours out of your night, and bro, we got it. We'll definitely get you back on to shoot the shit some more.
That was fun. Thank you guys.
Thank you, bro. You're the man.
You.
And if you guys made it this far in the podcast, we love you. See you guys next week. Bye.